Joy.
Here's my question.
Talking about
Here's that question.
You didn't answer my question.
No. I'm going to answer your
Great.
question.
I would love to hear that.
Absolutely. Well, I'm interviewing you and you're not interviewing me. So let's just make sure it's a conversation. So what I'm saying to you is that as you are not an expert in this book,
I don't have to be an expert to know that dildos aren't appropriate for public school. I mean, come on, let's get real.
What's happening, everybody? Patrick Bet-David recently reacted to a clip from Joy Reid's show on MSNBC, The Readout. Patrick Bet-David and his co-host didn't hold back from voicing their disgust when, in the clip, Joy Reid defends pornographic books with graphic depictions of sex, incest, rape, and even strap-on dildos being available to children in public schools. This is as low as it gets, gang. Let's watch Patrick Bet-David mercilessly destroy Joy Reid. Let's go.
So MSNBC, Joy Reid, and Moms of Liberty go at it. And you just have to see this exchange because MSNBC Joy Reid criticized Tiffany Justice, co-founder of Moms of Liberty, over banning the memoir, All Boys Aren't Blue, from schools questioning for qualifications. What is the expertise that you have and other Moms for Liberty advocates have to decide that a book, an award-winning book, isn't appropriate for students to read? Justice responds by stating, I don't have to be an expert to know that dildos are not appropriate for public schools, okay? I can read the rest of it for you, but I'll let you see the clip. Yeah. Rob, if you have the clip, I'm sure Joy Reid's going to do a much better job than me reading this. Watch this clip here. And parents, I really want to know, how are you reacting to this exchange? Rob, is this the full clip? Go ahead and play the clip. Go ahead and play the clip.
What I'm asking is, what is the expertise that you have and other Moms for Liberty advocates have to decide that a book, an award-winning book like All Boys Aren't Blue, isn't appropriate for students to read? What is your expertise?
What a tragic story of a young man who's anally raped by his adult family member. So you have incest, rape, pedophilia. Joy, you said you'd let me answer, so I'm going to answer for you. In what context is a strap-on dildo acceptable for public school? I mean, that's my question to you. Tell me what the context around the strap-on dildo or the rape of a minor child by a teacher.
Hold on a second.
No. We're talking about public school.
One moment.
All right.
So now you've asked me questions.
Sure.
I'm going to answer it.
Okay.
Well, who is the main character? What's the name of the main character in All Boys Aren't Blue?
What a question.
You're asking me right now.
You just gave me very specific information about this book, so you're presenting yourself as somebody expert.
It's the gentleman.
Who's the main character in the book?
The main character is the author.
What's his name?
George, I believe, is his first name.
Because you're giving me very specific information that is.
You're asking me to remember the name of an author.
You just remembered very specific things.
Joy.
Here's my question.
Talking about
here's that question.
You didn't answer my question.
No. I'm going to answer.
Great. I would love to hear that.
Absolutely. Well, I'm interviewing you and you're not interviewing me. So let's just make sure it's a conversation. So what I'm saying to you is that as you are not an expert in this book,
I don't have to be an expert to know that dildos aren't appropriate for public school. I mean, come on, let's get real.
This is a full context story, as you said, of the author's experience.
I cannot believe
Why
this
is it your right
sold
or a
on
Moms
TV.
for Liberty activist's right to say that a parent who wants...
Hey, if you like watching videos like these, like, subscribe, and blah, 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 blah. Let's get back to the video.
their child to have access to this book, which gives a personal experience of this author.
MSNBC. This is embarrassing.
Why doesn't a liberal parent, for instance, or a parent of an LGBTQ kid, why don't they have a right for their child to just have access to this book? Why is it your right to say they can't?
So again, we're talking about incest, rape, and pedophilia.
And each parent, each parent has to decide what is appropriate for their child to read. So I want you to answer. I'm going to ask it one more time.
Right.
What is your right to tell a parent who wants their child, who might feel seen by this story, why don't they have the right? Why don't they have the right as a parent to say, my child can have access to this book?
If a child feels seen by this story, that means that they have been the victim of a predator. That means that they have either been raped by a family member, they've experienced
and your proof of that is what?
You just said that if a child feels seen by this story. What I'm saying, Joy,
you're now making assumptions.
No, Joy, but if a child has been raped, you should do a lot better.
She can't be this. She can't be this ignorant.
You can process at this point.
Okay, be honest with me. Do you think she's that?
Oh, yeah. All Boys Aren't Blue. That old classic. I know a lot of my more sensitive viewers don't like ad hominems, but I have to ask, who is Joy Reid's stylist? Who looks at her and says, you know what haircut would look great on you? The Mark Davis. If you don't know who that is, look it up. You won't be disappointed. Joy asked Tiffany Price, what is your expertise to comment on this book? I get that question a lot in the comments on my videos. And I'd imagine that Tiffany Price's answer would be similar to mine, which is we have eyes and we have a brain and we have a soul, a human soul that knows the difference between good and evil. Other than that, I have none. I'm just a dumb guy talking to a camera. But the fact that this living, breathing nightmare has the audacity to argue with someone that a book that includes sex, incest, rape, and strap-on dildos is a good thing to have in public schools convinces me, not that I didn't know it already, that there is pure evil in this world. What's worse is I don't know if she's being sincere or not in her belief. But what I do know is that it's politically motivated. And whether she believes it's right or wrong, that fact might make it even worse. I've watched this clip a couple times now. Just that last time we watched it, I caught a key word that she said when she was asking, how do you know someone won't be seen by this book? Which is terrible on its face, but she said, what if a parent, a liberal parent, that's it. Say what you want about the right wing and all of its flaws, all of its failings. The conservatives, the Republican Party, there is plenty to criticize. However, not once in my lifetime have I seen anyone on the right advocate for something as vile as this. For that reason alone, I shouldn't have to explain any further why I support the right wing over the left wing. Now, to be fair, I am praying that this is a very, 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 very small part of leftists that think books like this should be left in schools. However, if someone like this exists on your side of the aisle, they don't have a place anywhere. They don't have a place on either side of the aisle. Condemn them. Needless to say, this is one of the worst segments I've ever seen on TV in my lifetime. But I'll let Patrick Bet David and his co-host roast this loser. Let's get back to the video.
Be honest with me. Do you think she's that stupid?
No.
Or this is the narrative? Because, by the way, let's not forget who by the way, never trust anybody that's hair looks like this to make any decisions about anything about you and your kids. What she's doing right here is one of the reasons people like me always think that the left is always over-sexualizing kids and doesn't care about topics like this. And that's why everybody's always like, dude, what is she talking about? What is she even talking about? And let's not forget who Joy Reid is. She's the one, remember on the panel with Bill Maher when Ann Coulter was like, Donald Trump's the, what's it called? She made that face like, she's an idiot. There's no way she could think like
Tom,
this.
when you hear this logically, when you hear this, a host of a brand, MSNBC, saying it's okay for a book with dildos and
pedophilia. And rape.
Well, how do you process this as a parent, Tom?
So, Joy Reid is the pathetic mouthpiece of the left that wants to sexualize children and wants to make sure that onboarding and grooming materials are present on the shelves of libraries and public schools. It's as simple as that. They want the stuff on there. They want the progressive sexualization of kids. That's the purpose here. Now, I happen to think that this woman could have done better for herself. I would have known the author. I would have known his date of birth. I would have known the name of the publisher, and I would have fired back at her pretty hard on those. So I think she could have been a little bit more informed and kind of fought back against it. But Joy Reid's whole angle here is to discredit her. That's all she's trying to do. She was not arguing even for the book. She's just trying to discredit the other side. I'm interviewing you. You're not interviewing me, meaning I'm here to ask a bunch of questions to discredit you. But all I see is a mouthpiece for the left to advocate to putting this stuff on the shelves in public schools to allow kids to have access to it, to act on their curiosities or act on their depression.
Adam.
That's her job here.
Adam.
Look, it's becoming clearer and clearer who she is. You know, she's going to reap what she sows. I just Googled Joy Reid just to kind of see what's popping up. If you Google Joy Reid, do it right now. The first thing that pops up is Joy Reid strap-on. So congratulations, Joy. This is now the word associated with
Google
your name.
strap-on, Robert.
Is that a
No,
wait a minute?
just Joy Reid. That's the first thing that pops up.
Strap-on Joy Reid.
The second thing that pops up is Joy Reid hair. And I realized, where have I seen this hair before? And it's one of our favorite movies over here. Rob, if you could pull that up. We saw her go full retard in Tropic Thunder. We recognize that hairdo. And you know they said,
Make me.
yeah,
I knew
they
it.
said, you know, never go full retard over here. But, you know, I also found out that Joy has 3 kids and she's married. I thought she might have been a lesbian. I don't know. But she's got 3 kids. So I want to know if she's going to let her kids read this book. I want to know if she's encouraging her kids to enjoy this type of lifestyle.
The youngest child that she has is 24 years old. So if her child was in elementary or middle school, that was 15 years ago, before this was, you know, prevalent for most schools to have these types of books.
Her youngest child is 24. How old is she? Jesus. Anyway, good for her. But she's just an absolute shill of whatever's happening here.
I'm actually wanting to talk real like substance here. Forget about, you know, you calling her idiot or shill or this and that. On Tom, we'll come back to Tom. You found something awesome. Hang tight. We'll come to you, Tom. So forget about, you know, what she is and, you know, all the name calling. The average parent who doesn't follow politics closely is 80% of parents. 80% of parents don't care about politics. They don't follow it. They don't turn on CNN. They don't turn on Fox. They don't turn on MSNBC. They don't turn these things on. Maybe they get the news as it gets a little bit closer to the election cycle, maybe a little bit, but they're watching a Netflix show at night. They're watching a series at night. They're watching something like that at night. You mean to tell me you're okay with kids in school reading an award-winning book for, you know, All Boys Aren't Blue, which is banned, by the way, go to the top, which is banned by how many schools?
29.
29 school districts, and you think it's okay? You know, and she asked the question, in what context is a dildo strap-on acceptable? And she says, let that be the decision of a parent? What the hell are you talking about? What are you talking about?
You know, I got to say, PBD is a better man than I am, because when you see something as outlandish as what we just watched, it is so hard not to go straight to ad hominems and just roast the person. But I appreciate that he, you know, said, hey, let's stop that and let's talk serious about it. I mean, I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, even though I criticize on this channel and stuff like that. I know there's a human being inside of most of these left-wing wackos, but there's not a chance on earth that Joy Reid has a soul. If you think different, let me know in the comments, but you're wrong. Actually, as a matter of fact, if you disagree with my take on what we just watched, please let me know in the comments, because I cannot wait to see the responses to your message in the comments. After you leave the comment, drop everything, go to the public library, and get this book for your kids so that the FBI can immediately put you on a sex offenders list and someone can come take your kids away from you immediately. PBD's co-host Tom there was trying to make a point about, he's like, well, I thought that Tiffany Price could have been better prepared for the interview. She should have known everything about the book. Well, Tom, even though she knew she was going on TV with the nightmare of a human being that is Joy Reid, she probably thought the conversation would end after she probably thought the conversation would end after she uttered the words strap-on dildo, kids, and school in the same sentence. I don't think she had to be that much more prepared for any other normal interviewer to be like, oh my gosh, how is this happening? I don't think she thought the interview was going to go that way, that someone would actually defend this garbage. And let me guess, Joy, anybody that criticizes you for this is being racist or misogynistic. Just like your friend Kamala Harris. It couldn't possibly be that we just don't like you. Because unlike you, I judge people by the content of their character. And unfortunately, I've seen yours. Well, actually I haven't, because there isn't any. That's it for today's show. If you like watching assholes like Joy Reid get punked by people with a brain, then click on one of the 2 videos that just popped up on your screen. Otherwise, I really appreciate you being here. The end.